Hi everyone. So this week was really interesting because we got to take a look at our state and the ethical violations that have occurred in our state. And for me, I just think that this made it more real and really showed the importance of ethics. So in the state of Tennessee, I was kind of surprised, but a lot of LPCs have been violated for engaging in professional misconduct and unethical and unprofessional conduct, including but not limited to sexual and or romantic counselor-client relationships. And that was just really surprising to me because for me, I feel like clients are coming to us in a time of need, and that's taking advantage of a client in a very vulnerable state. Most recently in Tennessee, in Chattanooga, LPC with the last name of Sharian was violated she was guilty for engaging in professional misconduct and engaging in a sexual relationship with a former client. And for her, she was placed on probation, and she is supposed to submit and to report into a disciplinary coordinator every month. And she's also being fined, which I guess is at first I guess we want to retrain counselors because again, we are human. And so I guess if this is a first offense, maybe that's a fair punishment. For her violation, she actually violated the ACA Code of Ethic A5A, which states that sexual and or romantic relationships are prohibited, meaning sexual and or romantic counselor-client interactions and or relationships with current clients, their romantic partners, and or their family members are prohibited. So that just means staying out of a romantic relationship with our clients, and I think that's a pretty reasonable rule, especially considering that at the end of the day, the clients are coming to us in a time of need, and they need our care. That's not a time for us to take advantage of a vulnerable state. At the end of the day, as a counselor, our job is to make sure that our client is at the top of our priorities. So as long as our values and our goals align with making sure that our client is being taken care of, I believe that we're able to stay ethically involved in our client. So in the state of Tennessee, counselors are supposed to oblige by the ACA Code of Ethics. So again, that sexual and or romantic relationships are prohibited between counselors and clients. And again, I feel like that's a very reasonable rule. And then the ACA Code of Ethics says that impaired counselors must monitor themselves and make sure that they are staying emotionally and cognitively aware, and they're staying away from those problems. They're staying away from burnout, and they're making sure that they're staying proactive. So it is the counselor's responsibility to make sure that he or she is staying away from impairment, and if impairment does arise, that the counselor does take the necessary steps, whether that means abstaining from counseling and or just being proactive, making sure that the counselor is seeking counseling theirself, and or just making sure that they're seeking consultations among colleagues for advice. So this week was pretty interesting. I look forward to seeing what everyone else has to say.